Hey everybody, today we're going to be talking about SSH. I am Mike Turrentine and this is for ISA 4220. First, let's talk about what SSH is. SSH stands for Secure Socket Shell, and it is a protocol that allows administrators to access a computer securely while over an unsecured network. SSH also provides numerous other services like password and public key authentication. SSH also allows for two computers to send encrypted data between one another over an open network. Administrators can use SSH to manage a system remotely from a different physical location. Here we're going to be talking about how to start SSH. The idea behind Secure Shell was to be able to replace terminal emulators that were insecure. SSH allows for terminal access from a remote system. The command for using SSH to a remote terminal is SSH username at sshserver.example.com. Using this command will allow a user to connect to a server with a username initially. When asked to continue, just answer yes. When authenticated, a user can now connect to that server. There are many uses for SSH. SSH helps to connect a remote host to a local machine, but also allows for a user to execute commands, manage resources, and even deliver updates and software patches remotely. SSH is also used for managing operating systems, server hardware, and file transfer applications. It is used to make changes to a connected server as well as provide automated access via SSH keys. SSH is great for managing access and user identities, all while encrypting traffic. SSH has many different capabilities. Some of these functions are remote system access, encrypted file transfer, automated file transfer, secure commands for remote locations, and secure network management. SSH is more secure than Telnet and is used in software and scripts more frequently to add remote access to applications. Here we're going to be talking about the security issues of SSH. It is possible to deliver an SSH command that has a user ID and password authentication of the person to an account. However, to do so may open the credentials to a hacker with access to source code. For this reason, developers must take notice when incorporating SSH functions to not let this happen. In the bash command processor, the security hole shell shock can be done over SSH and is exposed in bash, but not in SSH. How does SSH compare to Telnet? Telnet was one of the first Internet application protocols and has a similar function of SSH. SSH is superior because it allows for authentication endpoints using public key cryptography. Telnet was created to emulate a terminal, but SSH includes this and the ability to implement remote commands. SSH can transfer files using SFTP or SSH File Transfer Protocol. Overall, SSH has more functionality than its predecessor, Telnet. TLS stands for Transport Layer Security, and it is used to update Secure Socket Layer, or SSL. These were designed for network security from the transport layer. SSH was designed to work at the transport layer as well, but in a different way. Both use key pairs to authenticate, but SSH uses separate keys to establish connection. SSH also has the ability to provide professionals with a secure way to manage remote clients. SSH is an open protocol and is used for most platforms, but can be found on Linux and Unix as well as Mac OS. It has been added to Windows PowerShell as recently as 2015. SSH is accessible to most OS by default, but OpenSSH must be enabled specifically for Windows. Most SSH include a secure login and a secure copy to provide secure authentication to operating systems to remote clients. There are many different SSH variations for a variety of platforms. SSH tunneling is a way to create a secure tunnel for a remote host and localhost. SSH tunneling can also be used to redirect traffic to a specific IP address or port to allow a remote host to have direct access of applications from a local host. A destination could be on a remote SSH server, or it could be altered to forward to another remote host. SSH tunnels are very helpful to IT admins, but can also allow malicious users to get past firewalls undetected. Thank you everybody for listening to my presentation. I hope you all have a great day, and here are my resources.